So, good afternoon everyone. Today we're going to introduce a Japanese retailer company who sells a variety of household and consumer goods. But before we dig into that, let's take a look at some products on the table. When you look at these products, there's something in common. The designs are very simple and there's no strong colors among them, and especially there's no brand on any of the products. But when you look into the product itself, it's actually very functional. It helps you to organize whatever you have and just make your life so much easier. So what kind of brand is this? Let's introduce our today's topic, Muji, and its representative, Prasad. Prasad, thanks for taking your time with us.
Thanks, Nicole.
Please take a seat.
Thank you.
So Prasad, why don't you give us an introduction about Muji and what does Muji actually mean?
So from 40 products in 1980 to 7,000 products today, Muji is a $2 billion brand owned by a Japanese company, Ryohin Keikaku. Muji started as an in-house brand of the Seiyu Corporation Japan, and it spun out in 1989 when Ryohin Keikaku was established. The initial capital was about 100 million Japanese yen, and Muji continued with the strategy of developing innovative products which are absolutely necessary for daily life. What we see in Muji is their products carry no logo, and the Japanese name Muji Ryohin means no logo, good products.
What do you mean by that? And what are the Muji's product segments?
Muji's key product segments include apparel, houseware, and food. Apparel is the second largest contributor with 34%, but housewares are the largest contributor, 53%. The food contributes about 8%. What we see with Muji is they have been continuously improving their design, manufacturing, and packaging processes to make them simpler and more efficient. And no wonder they have really given a good return to their shareholders. Return on equity is 17%. They have a great dividend that they're giving at 1.35 USD, and they also give a very good EPS at $5.01.
Wow, that sounds amazing. So is this performance only within Japan? How about the performance outside of Japan?
Out of the $2.2 billion revenues of Muji, 1.6 billion come from Japan, and the remaining 0.6 billion come from overseas. What we see is Muji started way back in 1991. Their first overseas store was in London. In 2001, they opened their first store in Asia in Hong Kong. Muji has been focusing a lot on Asia. We see they are focusing on the Chinese market, where premium brands are gaining popularity and the Japanese brands are getting a lot of traction here. Overall, we see a very aggressive expansion strategy from Muji to increase its revenues overseas.
So thank you, Prasad. It was a very clear introduction. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the time.
So now let's introduce another representative from Muji Japan, Mr. Okumura-san. So Okumura-san, konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
We all know that Muji has expanded to 26 countries and managed 600 stores all over the world. So could you just tell us more about what is Muji's expansion strategy?
Sure. We have two main strategies. First one is like overseas expanding strategy, and this is regarding the controlling share for foreign companies. So we do 100% ownership or majority shareholder if it's allowed, except Taiwan. So what we do is we choose the reliable big business players in developing countries, such as Lotte Corporation in Korea or Union Enterprise Corporation in Taiwan.
Interesting, because most of the corporation do not want to do 100% ownership. Since you go overseas, there are so many uncertainties. You don't know the culture, the market. So where do you think Muji likes to do so?
The reason we do this is when we expanded in 90s, we had to cancel the partnership with our business partner because of the partner's financial problem. From this lesson, we learned that it is so much easier for us to own 100% shares by ourselves. So if it allowed, we chose in East Asia to own 100% shares or to become a majority shareholders.
So that's great. Another question, Mr. Okumura, when Muji go overseas, how do you make sure and control the Muji quality is retained?
That question is actually connected to second strategy. Second strategy is we standardize all the operation in Muji stores. So we create 2,000 pages of all the manuals in Muji, and we explain all the details in that book. So what's happened is that because we clarify all the operations or all the things to do in the store or anything related to work, so the employees are able to work efficiently while keeping the high quality of service in the store and offering the best experience to the customers.
Wait, did you just say 2,000 pages of manual? Do you think your employee will really go through it and then remember the concept? How about the overseas branches? How do they adopt this kind of strategy?
Mujigram is not about reading through 2,000 pages or memorizing all the details in the Mujigram. This is more for all the employees, they can actually refer to the Mujigram and then maybe efficiently memorize some specific area of the work they are related. For example, we have a very detailed instruction about customer service. When customer comes in to the store, we believe that it is so critical to approach them within first 5 seconds to make them feel that they are welcomed by the stores. So we actually explain all the concept in details in the Mujigram.
Thank you, Okumura-san. Thanks for your explanation about the overseas expansion.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Until now, we know what is Muji and what is their overseas expansion strategy. But how about the rivalry issue? When we look at the retailer industry, there are so many big players. How does Muji compete with the others? Let's discuss all this issue with Muji strategist, RJ.
Muji operates in a general lifestyle retail industry. At first glance, the competitive landscape looks intense, with the number of brands occupying the space. Some of these brands, to name a few, include Uniqlo, Daiso, IKEA, and Tokyo Hands. So you can see it's a very wide range of stores. Despite the number of competitors, I believe that Muji is in a prime position to take advantage of the situation. At the center of this strength is the Muji philosophy. No brand, quality products. Its novel approach to design, exemplifying simplicity and functionality, along with its uncompromising stance to quality, has allowed it to create a loyal core of customers around the world. Despite operating in 3 main product segments, this theoretically exposes it to different competitors. Its philosophy has allowed it to create a niche. This has allowed it to avoid direct competition with other players in the industry. This can be seen in its net income and sales revenue growth. Both have been trending up the past 5 years.
We see how Muji uses philosophy to create its value and its success. But when I look at the product itself, the design is very simple and there's no brand attached with it. So the Muji concept, is it easy to be copied by its competitors or even the outsiders?
Muji has been in the business for a very long time. From the very beginning, it has stuck to its core philosophy without fail. It can be seen in the product that it brings to market. Simple, functional, high quality. Other firms might be able to copy this in the short term, but as to attaining the long-term success that Muji has had the past few years, I remain highly skeptical. Muji's success was built on a strong reputation for good products. It goes to great lengths to guarantee the quality of the raw materials that it uses, while at the same time adhering to strict quality and cost control of the end product. This focus on efficiency can be seen in their improving operating profit margin. It has been trending up the past 5 years. It was able to develop a loyal following, customers that will buy Muji based on the inherent value offered by the product. Thus, offering cheaper alternatives might not necessarily lure away the Muji faithful. Unless a prospective firm is able to replicate the dedication and discipline that goes into a product, I believe Muji will be able to retain its top position in this industry.
Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Nico.
Thank you. We have been seeing Muji from different angles. Let's see how they can improve moving forward. Anurag will walk us through.
Muji is facing many issues that come with rapid expansion. We have identified three major issues that Muji is facing. One is brand recognition, second is operation related, and third is expansion related. When it comes to brand recognition, we know that outside Japan, Muji has 255 stores, but it has kept opening and closing the stores. So that creates problem in terms of brand recognition. Because of this inconsistent presence, consumers in the Western world don't relate with the values that it represents. The change in strategy to maintain 100% equity in new ventures should have a favorable impact on their overseas business. Second problem is related with their inventory management. The revenue has been growing at an annualized rate of 5% between the period of 2007 and 2014. But if you look at their inventory, it is showing a huge build-up at annualized rate of 18.3% in the same period. That shows insufficiency in their supply chain. In order to make the supply chain more robust, they need to beef up their IT systems. They don't have a universal ERP system which slows down the flow of information and delays the response time, which is very critical in rapidly changing customer taste. I think they have a few things to learn from Zara in terms of supply chain optimization. Apart from these changes, they need to have a relook at their expansion strategy in China. Muji has been expanding in China very, very aggressively. Out of 255 overseas stores, China has 100. But with the growth in China slowing down, Muji needs to have a look at other markets in the region like Indonesia, Australia, and even India, where they have minimal to no presence. With over 60% of their overseas stores in slowing markets, they should concentrate on expansion in Southeast Asia and US.
Thank you, Muji team, for sharing the great experience with us. And thank you for watching the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.